Please, I want to ask you people, I have 1 million naira to send to anybody that can go on Google and find any time I posted a tweet or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, any defamatory whatever on Peter's wife. Please, the first person to send that thing to me on my DM will win 1 million naira.
Jude Okoye. Now you see, statement like this, that you're going to offer 1 million naira, this is where I feel pity for Paul. Guys, I can guarantee you guys, Jude, we all know. Jude, you know you use Paul as a decoy. Yes. You try to manipulate Paul to say some things online so that at the end of the day, you're not setting up Paul for dragging. Now look at what you just said. Meanwhile, look at the innocent post Lola posted to wish I and Paul happy birthday. That's Paul's response. Now look at Jude's comment underneath. There has never been a time Paul have ever had maybe a physical altercation, argument, insult, on Lola. But on Jude's side is opposite way. Jude have threatened Lola in front of Lola and myself. Jude have insulted Lola in front of me. And I wanted to hide this governor. It was actually Governor Omotayo who invited us over for peace talk. And let me tell you what the man did that day. By the time we arrived, he looked at Paul. Paul started talking. Paul finished talking. He said, Jude, your turn. Jude finished talking. Let me tell you what that governor did that very day. He said, Peter, you're not going to say anything. I thought it was like a team work, like, Governor, I'm not going to say anything. Why? They've all said their own side of the story. He said, Peter, I don't think you need to say something. I said, why? He looked at me and said, Peter, Paul, if I were you guys, do you know what your problem is? It's this Jude. If I were you guys, fire him. And I said, oh. That was when Jude started saying, hey, you know what? As it is, they should tell Lola. Anyway, he says Lola is going to shoot her. Jude, you have so many times, countless times, insulted Lola in front of me, in front of people, in front of saying that tata. In fact, I don't want to even say this one. What if I tell you guys that Jude have insulted my son? Jude called my son a bastard in front of me and Lola. And yes, I will tell you guys this short story. Maybe I wanted to hide it. Some years back, when my girlfriend then Lola was pregnant, I didn't want the news to break me. I decided to break the news. Because then, there was too many baby mama of so celebrity, baby mama, so celebrity gave birth, so celebrity impregnated. I didn't want that to happen to me. We went for a Sound City Awards. We won 3 awards that day. When we were leaving the venue, the paparazzi, the media people gathered us. Of course, we held the awards. We were having more like an interview. Next thing I did was, they said, well, who are we dedicating the awards? I picked up the first award. I said, this award is for God, I am Almighty. I praise God with that one. Second one award, I said, I dedicate this award to the fans and to everyone who has supported us. The last one, I say, this one is for the mother of my unborn child and my incoming son. Next thing, Paul and Jude walked away from the media setting. They picked the car, turned around, and entered the car. We drove. Left the venue towards headed to 3rd Main, and Jude pulled over and said, what was that for? I said, what's the problem? Do you know how this thing is going to ruin our career? I said, how ruin our career? I don't want the news to break me. I decided to break the news. The last thing I want to see online, start saying, this idiot, this is that. No, once I break the news, it's no more going to be a rumor. By the time we got home in Omole, next thing I heard from Jude, she must come out that pikin. That woman must come out that pikin. You're talking to her. Do you know how old I was that time, Jude? I was almost 27. Nothing that Jude and Paul didn't do for Lola to take that pregnancy out. To a point, they forged an email. Jude and Paul forged an email. I'll try and trace that email. To frame Lola up. I was on my own in my room one day. Paul came to me and said, Jude send you message. I checked my phone. He said, no, not before phone. For your email. I checked. I read that email for nearly about 20 minutes. An unknown person sent an email to Jude. Jude now forwarded it to me. The things I was seeing there were rubbish. Oh, that my son is not my son. According to them, that the unknown person claimed that my son is not my son. That Lola is using the child to trap me. That I don't want to name some notable names that they mention. Mention about 4 notable names. That is that either of them that got Lola pregnant. You say, you don't read and finish. I said, what you go do about her? I say, what are you expecting me to do? Peter, this thing go kill our career. Kill what career, Paul? That my girlfriend is pregnant. Kill what career, Paul? Paul left. I didn't bother. I forwarded that email to Lola. But let me take you guys back a little bit. So, we moved into Omole some years back. Almost like 16 years ago. When we moved to Omole, I was one who found the house, the duplex we were living there. Because I found the house, I have to take the master bedroom. Right? When we moved into the house, our mom came. She visited us. From Jos, she came. I greeted my mom. This was like when my son was like 5-6 months old. When my mom visited, of course, I have to give my mom the master bedroom, and I joined Paul's room. My mom didn't come alone. She came out. You all know our mom is a pastor. She came with 3 of our pastors. When my mom came, next thing, I greeted my mom. I was just smiling. You know, you're expecting like a mother to be like, how is your new baby? My mom didn't ask. My mom just said, hi, is Lola? I just said, she's fine. She said, can you tell her to come tomorrow? I said, okay, you want to see the baby? I'll tell her. She said, no. Let her not come with the baby. I said, Mom, why? You don't want to see the baby? She just said, no. Let her come first. My people, how do you guys expect me to call Lola? Because Lola was living on the island, we were living in Omole, mainland. How do you expect me to tell Lola, my mom wants to see you, and Lola will not come with the baby? It took me 3 hours thinking of, I have to go and meet one of the pastors. I said, is there anything? He said, no, don't worry. Your mom said you shouldn't, Lola should not come with the baby. Just leave it that way. I said, okay. And I finally got an idea. And I called Lola. Hey, babe, what's up? My mom is in town. Oh, really? And she wants to see you. She said, oh, nice. She wants to see the baby. Okay, I'm going to give the baby a bath once I get up. I said, Lola was so excited. I said, Lola, do not come with the baby. She was like, why? I said, because we fumigated the house. It's not going to be good for the baby to inhale. She said, when did we do the fumigation? I said, Even our mom is actually uncomfortable about it, but she just have the money. So it's not good for the baby. Lola said, okay. The next day, Lola came. She called me that she's at the gate. I went outside. While Lola sat in the living room, I didn't see anybody in the house. I didn't see any of my brothers, the pastors. I didn't I expect to see them in the living room where Lola was. I didn't see any of them. I just said, let me go check. And I opened the door. In that my master bedroom where my mom was, everybody was seated. Even our firstborn, the one that is older than the next person before Jude, that lives in Lagos, was there. Tony, my brother, was there. The pastors were there. Paul and Jude were there. When I came, I said, okay, Lola is around. They said, tell her to come. The way I was walking to go and call Lola, I was uncomfortable. But I didn't say anything. I brought Lola. Enter the room. That was my room. Master bedroom, which there's a bed and there's a couch. Nobody stood up to say, hey, Lola, sit down. Lola just entered. Good morning, ma. Everybody get it. Nobody even cared to say, Lola, come and sit down here or anything. Nobody. I and Lola sat on the floor in my room. I and Lola sat on the floor. Next thing my mom said, young woman, we the Okoye families here have decided you should leave our son alone. I said, Mom, what's going on? Next thing. Now, because 2 days before that moment, me and Lola had a little quarrel, as a couple quarrel. Lola was looking at me thinking, maybe I planned it to exit the relationship. Lola just said, babe, what's going on? I said, Lola, come on. I said, Mom, what's going on? Next thing Jude just said, leave our brother alone. I look at Jude's face. Jude said, it is like carry water from mouth. I'm like, hey, can anybody? Everyone there tried to calm Jude down. Next thing, Jude just stretched his hand. Because in that my room, I have my son's picture when he was 3 months old by the side of the bed. Jude stretched his hand and picked it and looked at it. Guess what came out of Jude's mouth? For those who understand Igbo, as the way you run now, Oyene, Unwabu, bastard. All Lola heard was bastard. Lola just said, did he just call her? I saw the pastor. I said, Lola, I was just trying to calm Lola down. Lola started crying. Guess what happened? They pushed Lola out of the house. Yes. I was trying to hold Lola. By the time I would tell Lola, stay down. Lola, calm down. Lola just opened the door. I opened the door to talk. As I opened the door, I didn't even know that Lola came with our son, with the nanny in the car. Lola still brought our son in the car. That means she was like, to her, like, okay, even if our mom, if the child cannot enter the house, her mom can come outside and see the baby in the car. That's how Lola jammed the door, zoomed off, and went back inside. Everybody have left the room, except my mom and one of the pastors. And I said to them, what have you guys done? I told Mom, did you pray before? Our mom, our mom sees vision. I won't lie to you. I asked my mom, I said, did you pray before coming? Next thing our mom said, she came to take care of the situation before she can go and pray. I looked at my mom and her face. I said, this is not right. I left. Guess where I went to? I went to a hotel nearby in Omole. I stayed there alone for hours. I waited till a particular time. I drove, went to the island. I knocked at the last door. Knocked, she wasn't picking the phone. The cook now came. Said, Madam, don't pack her things, so come out. I said, I'll help her pack some bags. I didn't see Lola and my son for over 5 months. 5 months after that incident, my mom came back to Lagos, gathered everybody again, sent for me. I came, I sat down. You guys would have imagined the trauma that was going on with my brothers. We were still doing shows, doing everything together. We sat down. I sat down with everyone in the room again. Here's what happened that very day. The pastor started with the prayers, finished the prayers. And I said, Peter, what we're about to tell you, you might be disappointed, but take it that they say God works in wondrous ways. This might be one of them. As the pastor was, talking, Jude was just hissing. But this time I was now sitting close to the table near the bed. And I said, Peter, stretch your hand, let me have your son's picture. He said, don't worry. I just stretched the same picture that Jude made that statement on. Now look at the picture. Peter, the Spirit of God said we should tell you this. That if anybody insult this boy again, if he's killed, kill that person. This is your blood. I remember I went down on the floor, I started crying. By the time I opened my eyes, everyone had left the room. When everyone left the room, my mom said, why am I crying? That they just told me a good news. I told her, what's good about this news? What is good about this news? I went to the wardrobe because it's my room. I started packing my bags. And I looked at my mom's face. I told her, and I said, this thing you've started, I pray you'll be alive to witness the end. I left. Went back to that same hotel. When I went to that hotel, I started communicating. Then there's a family friend of Lola who has a son that's older than my son with about a few months. So I'm always calling him, do you know where Lola is? I'll call him, say he doesn't know and all that, But sometimes when I'm talking to him, I can hear a baby crying in the background. So I wasn't, because when Cameron was born, I was not there. It was this guy that was there. You know why? Do you even know why I wasn't even there? I think, oh my God. I wasn't there when my son was born. I bought a ticket to travel to make sure I was there for my son's birth. Jude booked a show in Akwa Ibom. I was backstage in Akwa Ibom. I was supposed to travel 5 days before that show. They told me they booked a show. I said, why? I I went for that show. I was backstage thinking after the show I will travel. They called me. Lola has a CS. While she was delaying, waiting for me, they noticed that the baby was losing his breath. They had to slice Lola's stomach and take the baby out. Fast forward. When I was talking to George, that's the family friend, I started telling him the story of what happened in the house. Because after I finished, I told him everything that happened in the house. He felt bad. He said, Peter, your family are here with me. I said, can I talk to them? He said, yeah. I came in the phone, I asked Lola, how is everything? She started crying, and I told her, the next first thing I needed to do was to send them money. How am I going to send them money? Because the same money I'm going to ask for it. Let's fast forward, guys. I did everything for them to get back home. While I was doing all that, our mom was still around. My mom felt my pain. And she said, don't worry. Because when I was telling her about everything, she now said, I said, Mom, look at it this way. You felt you told me a good news that the child is my child. But see how everybody left. She now said, no problem. I'll talk to your brothers. They will apologize to you. I said, no problem. My mom went back to Jos. And when my mom went back to Jos, after like a week, she called me. She asked me, have they apologized? I said, only the first son, our firstborn, has apologized. She said, don't worry, they're all gonna apologize. After like a few weeks again, Henry apologized. Except Paul and Jude. The ones that I live with never did. Waited for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months till our mom died. That apology was never made. And my mom told them to do it. They never did. You know, sometimes when I hear our mom never liked Lola, I say my brothers have forgotten so soon. Our mom was sick in Jos. We flew her all the way Lagos. During the period our mom was sick, we took her to St. Nicholas Hospital. St. Nicholas Hospital is on the island. We live on the mainland. Our mom was admitted in that hospital, and 4 of my mom's pastors were around all the way from Jos. Guess where they were staying? Lola's house. Lola's house. Well, I gets up as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. makes food for them, breakfast, everything. By 7 o'clock, Lola takes them to the hospital. Lola stays in the hospital. We live on the mainland. We now leave around 11, comes to St. Nicholas Hospital. When we come, Lola will now leave and go to work. We stay with our mom in the hospital with the pastors. By the time it's almost 6 o'clock, Lola will leave work because Lola's office is not far away from St. Nicholas. She comes back at about 6 o'clock. Stays. As soon as Lola comes, we'll then leave. Lola will stay in that hospital till 12 midnight. Take them back. Take the pastors back to the house. The next morning, the same routine. For over 2 months plus, during her moment in that hospital. They have to create a narrative that Lola and my mom never had a relationship. Before even Lola, before I got married to her, Lola, my mom was already addressing Lola as our wife. It's sad that Jude is using Paul as a tool for his evil games. They say Jude sold his car to bring Psquare. Jude did a lot for peace. He produced it. Hey, guys, let's be honest. What produced what? All Psquare albums were produced by me and Paul. I have to even say Paul. I operate the keyboard, I operate the computer, I operate the Fruity Loops. I use it. Did Jude contribute in Psquare? Yes. After we turned Psquare, after we were famous. But not as people say it. They say Jude shoots Psquare's videos. Because they put directed by. Really? Since Psquare broke up, how many videos has Jude and G's shot, directed by? Even when we are at Psquare, some of them you see Jude Okoye / Clarence Peters. Check all Cynthia Morgan's videos. You will never see Jude alone. I guarantee you guys. Personally, Alingo, Shekini were shot by me. All Jude wanted for I and Paul to do was to project him as the Don Jazzy of Psquare. How? Then, during our time when we were popping, there was Two-Face. There was Face. There was Star Plus. But Star Plus came later. There was more hits. Jude became threatened by more hits. In fact, I think Paul and Jude have this competitive, jealousy attitude that I never liked. Every time, the more it are doing this thing, we should. I say, guys, can we just do our thing? Let's do our thing. We are unique in our own ways. Psquare will go for an interview. The artist should be interviewed. When they ask the artist question, Jude is answering. Look at them. Watch.
For the very first time, Jude and Okoye, who's the manager to Psquare and also CEO of Square Records, divulged to Hip TV during a radio interview in Uganda the reason behind the split.
Okay, if it's part of our giving back to society, okay, let's help some artists. J Martin's came, we helped him. Immediately he became big, we let him.
Guys, as you're watching it, pay attention to me. How I was looking at him, knowing the fact that he was just lying.
If it's part of our giving back to society, okay, let's help some artists. J Martins came, we helped him. Immediately he became big, we let him go to be independent. The same thing to Bracket. But maybe his own was different. We were like, okay, let's have this group thing. Let's form a group alliance. Let's have Medine on board. So at the end of the day, when we wanted to kind of officially sign him, then that was when the problem came up. He wanted to have what Psquare had. Which was not possible.
I also want what they have.
It took Psquare like 7-8 years to get the cars, the houses, and everything. And within a year, somebody is looking for
The same.
something like that. So I was like, okay, you can get it from here. Maybe there's another option outside there. Go get it.
We say I and Paul should be trying to be hyping him, you know, so that, oh my God, we look at more hit. Don Jazzy will stay with the band. They will ask Don Jazzy even questions. Don Jazzy will just whisper to the band. The band don't answer. Don Jazzy don't want to say anything. Like sometimes I hear, oh, we sign artists, we end up messing them up, or we don't help people around. Now look at it this way. How does that concern me? Jude, you signed Cynthia Morgan. Look at how you ended up with Cynthia Morgan. Jude, you were the one that wanted to sign Mehdi. I didn't even know you wanted to sign Mehdi. Look how you ended up with him. Right? Paul, you signed Mono and one other girl. Today, all of them come out, they are saying things about you. I only signed one artist, singer. His contract ended after I think 3 years or 4 years. He left peacefully. I gave him his catalog, everything. In fact, I even gave him money. Ask him. Till today, I still post him on my page, on my story. Psquare have not helped anybody. And how many during the pandemic, Peter Okoye I was sharing ₦1 million every single day. People will testify it. That Psquare don't help anybody. I saw me this podcast. I was paying. I don't blame him. To be honest with you, I've been to so many competitions in my life. At a tender age, I got used to learning to celebrate others. If you're doubting me, watch this video where I lost Mr. Campos in University of Abuja. But hear me, celebrating with the guy that won. I was first runner up. Watch.
I was among those who contested for Mr. Campos. He won the Mr. Campos. He achieved a lot. Why? It's not really about what you think you are or how your physique is. Look at me, I'm more finer than Tony. Look at my body, you can look at everything, you know. I have more physique than him. But he won the Mr. Campos. I think it was because of what he is. He believed in himself because he knows he's good and he looks nice. Let's forget about how the shape is, the physique. It's not the physique that matters. He is my Mr. Campos and I love him. Tony.
Now that's Peter Okoye. No, that's not Mr. P. That's Peter Okoye. I don't like having issues with people. I'm not a jealous type of person. I'm not a jealous type of person. I don't envy people. Did you understand? I don't compete with anybody. I just want to do my thing and enjoy my life and live a free life. Don't say you are beefing with your brothers. That thing used to piss me off. I had my wedding, like my own wedding. My own elder brother, so-called manager, never attended it. Why? Let me even tell you how bad it was. That a night before my wedding, Jude booked a show with Globacom in Ghana. And they showed me our ticket. Coming back the next day, which happens to be my wedding day, was 2 o'clock flight. I said, no. We have to insist until they got us a private jet. Now, we went there. I went to that performance. Left Lagos. Lola is communicating with me in Ghana. She thought I was in Lagos. What happened? The next day, there was environmental in Ghana. think we would have left very early. Environmental ended about 11. By 12, we boarded the plane. I landed. 1 hour, 30 minutes after my wedding, I've already started. Landed. I didn't shave. I didn't sleep. Now, while I was at my wedding, I was trending for a wrong reason. I was trending for a wrong reason. Jude posted himself in Mervin's studio with Wizkid, Dr. Seed, Fino, Don Jazzy, and the rest of them. I forget what they captured. I'll put it up. That's it here. Jude posted this picture. Look at the date. I got married a day before our Psquare's birthday, 17th. Look at it. Jude posted this. Jude was then trending. I think somebody said something like, "You didn't attend your brother's wedding." The next day, I think he responded like, "If our mom was alive, this wedding would have held or hold, I don't know." Jude. And despite Jude was with Don Jazzy, Dr. Seed, Wizkid, and Fino, and the rest of them, all of them attended that wedding. They still left that studio, attended the wedding. But my own senior brother, manager, refused. I made a shabby for him and everything. Fast forward, few months' time was now Paul's wedding in Port Harcourt. I was there for him. I helped him set up a lot of stuff, connect him with a lot of things in Port Harcourt. I said something on stage that people didn't get. I'll look for that video. I said it. I said, "Hey, on stage," I said, "Paul, you do me bad thing." You know why? Because when I and Paul were young, we both agreed that our first sons will bear our names, as in our tribal name. My son today is Cameron Nonso Okoye. Paul is Paul Nonso Okoye. Of course, when Paul gave birth to Andre, Obumneme was never found. Another betrayal. Fast forward, few months' time was Jude's wedding. Of course, Jude didn't give me a shabby or even gave Lola. That means automatically we were not invited. The next thing, I did what we call do me or do you. I posted a picture in my own house, chilling with friends. 3 days time, Paul came back from the wedding. Paul attacked me. I didn't attend Jude's wedding. There's that. The Jude, my senior brother should respect that. I said, Paul, that by age, if not by age, Lola senior Jude. If not by age, Lola senior Jude, Paul. I'm sure that thing pissed Paul and Jude off. Jude claimed he never had any problem with Lola. But Jude, you lied. Listen to this interview between Tunde Ednot and Jude Okoye on Instagram Live. Listen.
But there are some questions that are so important that I have to ask you.
Tunde, ask your question. I'm open now. I'm done.
What happened? Should I ask?
Go ahead.
Okay. They said you have a problem with Peter's wife. That you just have a problem and you did not attend Peter's wedding. You said that, make I ask you.
Can I listen?
So, do you have a, should I don't know, because
Tunde. Tunde, Mook leave that matter for another day.
Okay, another day. Okay.
Yes.
But you said ask me any question. That's why I asked you.
Now all of a sudden, you started stammering. But your mouth was sharp before. Big brother madness. I'm done.